Welcome, everybody. This is another episode of We Are M&R. I'm Thomas Trimmingham, and today I'm talking to Jonathan from Success Printshop. Jonathan, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and talk about your company a little bit?
Sure. Thanks for having me, Thomas. Yeah, so my name is Jonathan. I own a Success Print Shop here in Texas. We're a small shop. We got one auto, three employees. With me, it's four, I guess. We screen print. We don't do embroidery in-house, but we do offer it. So we outsource to a local company. I've been printing personally since I was 20. So for like 7 years, I've been printing. And I did it all through college. So like on a manual press, like really very manually, very humble beginnings. Um, and last year, 2019, was my first full year of having an auto, and it completely like changed my life. It was, I mean, we did our sales went like through the roof compared to the previous years on a manual. So yeah, that's where we are right now. And then we're on pace to kill it this year, but then I don't know. We'll still see. We'll see. I still feel kind of optimistic about the year, but we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, I mean, what's the last month and a half been like for you? I mean, I ask everybody that just to kind of we got to get that
Mhm.
out of the way, because it's obviously it's been crazy, but
Yeah,
what's it been like for you?
I think like I just realized how important it is to kind of operate, or I don't know about important, but like how nice I guess it is to kind of operate or like in the like lean. Like my whole shop is like only with the metal building and the shipping container I'm in. The whole shop's only like 1100 square feet, so it's like a real tight space. But um, so like if we were like a big shop with rent and like a bunch of employees, I think it would have been a little harder like on the owner personally. But the way we have like been operating, we're already operating lean. So it's like I remember when this stuff like first started coming out, like all the COVID stuff. I remember sitting down at my desk and like, all right, let me see what I can cut out, like all the expenses. Let me cut right now. But there wasn't that many, and it made me realize like we were already operating lean. You know what I mean? So that's kind of, but like as far as like it hasn't yet like completely died. Like there's since the beginning there's like been work trickling in, whether it was like the support stores and local support. All those T-shirts came in still. So and even now in the past 2 weeks it's kind of been starting to pick up. So I feel like we weren't affected as much as like bigger shops who had to like let go of employees. And that's really when you ask me like how my last month has been and stuff, I think a lot about those shops because I know like how hard it's been to even build this small business. So those shops who have built something even much bigger, like it has to like just be devastating. But hopefully we can all come back stronger from it.
I think that's part of it, is what can you, I mean, you hate to say in the middle of something this kind of brutal, but what do you learn from it, but
Yeah,
it's an open question, right? It's like
yeah,
what can you learn from this kind of compression? And then,
exactly.
at the back end, there is going to be some sort of opportunity and how can you stay, it's hard to plan right now. I know that that's for a fact, but what
Yeah.
specifically, what makes Success Print Shop a little different than other screen printers? What do you guys do different, or do you use different niche, or what?
feel I feel like there's, a whole range of screen print shops from like huge to middle to like the beginner. So I don't know how much like different we do things, you know what I mean? But I think right now where we're at, like I'm the only person in the company that deals with customers like one on one. Like there's no one else. It's just me. And I got the employees who do production and stuff. So I think that one on one connection really kind of helps us stand out from maybe the local guys who are like maybe bigger and don't have that connection. And like like I text all my customers. They text me like constantly, like about their order. They want to check in, and I'm right there with the text. So big companies aren't quite probably doing that as much, maybe. So I think there's an advantage of being small where I'm at right now. Something else that I think we do that maybe I don't know if a lot of shops do, but we bag and tag every single order, like fold and bag and size tag every single order under 300 pieces, like for free. And we don't even ask like our customers if they want that done. We just do it. And so many times, like I've had customers tell me they love that. It makes passing out to their group members so much easier. So those are a couple things that come to mind when you ask like what kind of differentiates us.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I was talking about. I mean, that is a perfect example. And I have a buddy that, he runs a real small little garage shop, I mean, he has a little auto stuffed in there somehow, in between his car and his, and his like bicycle and I don't know how he does it, but it's like
Yeah,
he slides containers through the side window and stuff,
yeah,
but it's like, and I was talking to him and he still personally delivers every order,
yeah. I
and
do,
and
man.
I'm
I
like,
do.
yeah, you know what I'm saying, right? And it's like, but customer service is such a huge deal now. And that's one thing that I think with this, strange environment we're in right now, it's that extra touches, those customer service things, and like
Yes.
really trying to know the people you're doing stuff for is just such a big deal. And it makes you feel good too, because the sense of community you still
Oh yeah,
have,
yeah.
you know?
Like I'm talking about feeling good. I mean, I love getting a text from a customer. It's like, and they like and saying, "Hey, I need something in the next 3 days. Can you make it happen?" And then me jumping on it, making it happen, and it all comes out good. Like, it's like so even like on my end, like I love it. It gives me like purpose every day whenever I get like those messages from customers. And then when you pull through and then they say, "Man, like." They just know they can count on you. Like I love that so much. So yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's part of it that's a lot of people have tried to, I guess, service, to some degree, improve their service or, really make it more personal. I think
Mhm.
that's a big thing. Are you doing anything with masks by any chance? Are you guys printing it?
No, and I haven't even had too many customers kind of. I've had like a couple customers ask me about it, and I'll probably like figure something out for them, but I don't know yet. There's a lot of options out there. I really like the ones specifically that are like dye sublimated, but also still sewn. Those look super sharp. Like when I see those, I'm like, okay, that's like the way like it should be done. Like if you're gonna like do mask like from promotional standpoint, like they look sharp, they got the whole thing going on. So if I do get into it, I want to figure out some way. And I know it's like so many people have already got it, and I don't know. We'll see. Maybe if I see some more like demand for it on my end, I'll look into it.
Yeah, it's easy to do it not well. I know that, so but I have
Yeah.
seen, a lot of organizations now just need it, so that's one of
Mhm.
those things. But what do you
Sure.
think in regards to uh, merch stores and online stuff? Where are you at? Where do you sit with?
Yeah. So even before COVID, like I remember the first few times launching like stores for some customers, and it just felt so good, like from like a customer service like standpoint, like to be able to offer something where they're not gonna have to like take paper order forms and like collect on individuals like their money or sizes, and there's so much like that in all that communication that can go wrong, like them giving it to me and then trying to figure out like read their chicken scratch handwriting. So yeah, like I remember like I said, the first few times it was like I can't believe like I should have been doing this a long time ago. So yeah, and then with this COVID thing, like obviously we were able to set up some support stores for and run t-shirt fundraisers for local businesses that it actually like really helped. Like at the end of the store, they were like, "Man, like thank you so much. Like I was able to make my rent because of this. So for this month." So yeah, I mean, but so like yeah, aside from COVID, like just having them in general is like been super nice. We use Inksoft, and they have it nicely set up. We can set up stores real quick. But I know there's a lot of options like Printavo merch. I know they've really doubled down on like building that out. And I was looking at some of the features the other day. Everything looks really nice the way it goes into the invoice, and so there's options. But it's like a no-brainer. Like as far as like should I or not do it? Like you should definitely do it. To any printer who's like on the fence about it, figure it out for sure. And even if it's not going to be one of those like Inksoft or Printavo, like figure it out with Shopify or maybe some cheaper options, but definitely offer it. I mean, it's like it's a no-brainer when you're just trying to be the best print shop you can be.
Yeah, that's great advice. Honestly, Jonathan, it's great. I mean, And we've seen a big difference between shops that have kind of embraced it and shops that, maybe haven't, and it does seem to really, especially when something like this is having opportunities to still connect with people or connect with them
Yeah.
digitally is, yeah, it's a real big deal. Would you say, what would you say is one of the biggest hurdles or roadblocks you've had to deal with, and how did you get through it? Would you say this is one of them, or would you think of something
Not
else?
yet. I mean, it might be one of them, but not yet. I don't know how much time do we have. I'm just kidding.
Well,
Like,
you can pick one that comes to mind.
yeah, two that come to mind. I remember very early on, like printing out of my bedroom on a manual press. Uh, it's just like ingrained in my mind forever because it was just so like so hard. But I remember running out of ink for a job, and I know this is like a simple basic thing, but like for those young printers that are still like getting in the game, because I can't talk obviously about the people who are like above me because they're on another level, but to the younger guys, like when you're like gonna print a big job, and I mean like a big job, when you're printing manually, like 100 t-shirts is a big job. So um, make sure you have the color ink that you need for that job. I remember one time I was running out. They needed the shirts like the very next day. It was like I was like running out of red ink for the specific design. I just remember thinking like this will never ever happen again. I'm gonna make sure I have ink like on hand. Like, why would I not just have the ink sitting on my shelf? You know what I mean? So that was like one specific thing. Another specific time that was like so hard on me. One time I accepted like a job for 2,500 t-shirts, and this was on the manual also. And never, not once, crossed my mind to just outsource it and get it done right and get it done quick. It's just I don't know. I just did it myself. I've been printing manually all the time, so I knocked that job out. It took us, and I had friends come in and help me print. I had my dad come in and help me print. It took us like a week of like, because it was like front and back, two colors. It was like 15-hour days on the manual. Yeah, 15-hour days for a solid week, man. And that time was like the hardest time in my life, like as far as business wise. Um, so that'd be like insight to give like another printer, like just get that job done. Keep the customer happy. Don't kill yourself. Just get it done at a auto shop that they can knock it out in a few hours. You know what I mean? So those are a couple things, but yeah.
What was it like for you, the transition going from manual to auto? What did that, I mean,
I
from,
remember.
how long did it take you to actually make the jump?
Oh, okay. So I printed manually through college. So like that was like 5 years of just manual side hustle. Never even thought of the business as like a real thing. Like I'm gonna really go for it. Never like that. But when I did go full time into printing, I think I printed maybe for like 2.5 to 3 years manually, full time, like manually. And then after that, I made the jump. And I made the jump because I needed I took like my own advice, and I needed a big job printed, and I wasn't going to print it manually again. It was like 600 shirts. They needed it quick, and I went to a shop and um, we had an auto. We knocked the job out, and I remember after printing, that was the first time I had any experience with the auto, and it was cake, man. I mean, I was just loading shirts. It was like the easiest thing ever. So after that experience, I was like, I got to get an auto, and I remember like talking to some other like other I was talking to Workhorse to see about maybe getting auto from them, and it ended up going M&R. But um, so yeah, after like 3 years of like manually printing, killing my hands and my body, I made the jump. And yeah, like I said, when I did get that thing, like my cells, I don't even know. Like I remember when I made, like I didn't even have the work to fill up the auto when I got it. I just remember thinking like I won't sleep, I won't go to bed. I worked every hour, every minute of the day just to fill the work up, just to like find new business and get it. Um, and it didn't come down to that. I don't know, like it just worked out. Like business just came. I don't know why or how. Um, I would have to attribute to like having just like a good customer relationship already. Like I had a base of customers at that point, and I mean word of mouth. Obviously, I know every printer says this, but word of mouth has been like oxygen to the business. So, um, but yeah, like as soon as you can afford it, I guess I would recommend automatic as soon as possible.
Yeah, I think that, one of the most common things that I've talked to when I've talked to printers about that transition is there's that perception like, oh my God, now I got to like triple down on sales and I got to do, but and they think that, man, this is like a blast furnace and I got to feed this thing coal, like I'm gonna be grinding. And I think that's just like the mentality. But then when you see it, what you realize is you can turn jobs so quick, that
Yeah,
you
exactly.
know what I mean? What I realized after talking to people is you can turn jobs quicker. So therefore, the bottleneck comes in weirder places that you don't anticipate, like your screens. All of a sudden, you start running out of screens, or
Mm-hmm.
you're ordering and processing garments for your and staging your orders becomes an
Yes.
issue more. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
it's like, oh wait, I turned that job that normally would have took me 2 days. I
Yeah.
did that in a couple hours, and now
Exactly.
it's like now I can get on to the next job, but I got to get the screens done, and so it's
Yeah.
it's a weird thing, right?
And the quality, like I remember, when you're printing 200 shirts, the last few shirts, they're like your arms are tired, and you have more of a chance to mess up because you're not paying attention, you're delirious or something. You're working so much, so many hours. So the quality, the consistency, it's amazing. I still think about it now, and I look at my machine, and I'm like, I just love it. I look at it and I love it so much.
No, I know what you mean. It's funny because it's like it's your horse or something, like
Yeah,
your Lone
exactly.
Ranger on your horse or something. I mean, it's a weird feeling, but you know, um, and I would say this, last year we did a promotion, and we painted one of our typically blue presses pink for breast cancer.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, yeah, and we gave away, we auctioned that press off essentially and gave all
Yeah,
the proceeds to breast cancer. The interesting thing about it though was when you were standing in front of that cruiser and you're thinking about printing shirts on it, it was
yeah,
a
that's cool.
weird feeling, right? Because you thought, man, this just gives you this charitable feeling. And it's kind of the
Mhm.
same way when you're standing in front of your press. You get this feeling of, hey, I'm doing this for other people, or you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And it's a cool thing.
Yeah,
I would say, I mean, I think, I've looked at some of your art and stuff I've seen on Instagram. I mean, your stuff you do is really tight, man. It's really good. You do not do
really
artwork
appreciate it.
or quality like a small shop.
I currently do like all the artwork, but I'm looking to outsource it now because it's kind of been a lot. But up until now, like I mean, I take a lot of pride in it, and I really try to go the extra mile when I'm creating stuff. I like to give the customers different options to choose from. So um, I don't know. That's like the thing, and I talk to my dad about this all the time. Like just building this business, like it takes like I'm sure every single business, like when you're in the early stages, like it takes a lot of heart and passion to actually like want to go the extra mile, not just like let me just get this out the door and like have like a no like don't care attitude. But and I think that's been I attribute like a lot of my success so far to like really just trying to go the extra mile all of the time, every single day when I wake up. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
No, yeah, no, I think if people haven't seen it, they should check it out because it's for that's one big thing that I've noticed at shops that keep growing is they put the extra effort into the art and into the quality and into the accessory services. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Whether it's tagging, whether it's bagging, whether it's a little bit of
yeah,
image in there. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It just makes their customers feel good, right?
You can like
It's
that's
they
like
don't
not
feel like
they actually try.
yeah, yeah. It's like, oh, you actually really like what you're doing, right?
Exactly.
You're not just printing shirts, throwing it in a box, and you're chucking at me as you drive by in the car. It's like, you know, and that resonates with people. It's a big
Yeah.
deal. Yeah. No,
Thank
what do you think about the future now? Like looking, I know it's so hard to plan for this year because it's crazy, but what are your
man.
thoughts moving forward?
I know what my future is like. Recently, I was talking to Dylan from Upstate and Andy from Shirt Kong, and I don't know. They really put in perspective for me the importance of like automating my screen room. I've always I listen to a lot of industry podcasts, like screen printing podcasts, all the time, and I know people say that, and it's like, that's like life changing. But I don't know, like I just hear it. But I was talking to these guys, and they were really like driving it home. They were like, no films, like no printing films, no taping films, no taking off films, no. I don't know. It was just like really hit. I was like, and like no pinholes because like no glass on the starlight, and I was like, dang, like okay, that needs to be my next move for sure. But my shop's so small, like my screen room is tiny, so I don't have room for it yet. So my very next step, my very next future is going to be building out a space for a screen room, like a nice screen room. Like right now, we reclaim outside under some tarps. Like it's like real, like in the elements. It's hot or it's cold. So I'm gonna build out a space for a automated screen room and pull the trigger on all that equipment as soon as that stuff is built out. So that's the next step on my end.
Yeah, that's a great plan. I mean, really, because you look at one of the big things too, and probably one of the biggest profit areas that people notice with that is the handling. Like when you don't have the handling of the films and the storage of it and all that
Oh,
stuff,
yeah.
that can be that's actually one of the bigger game changers. Well, how do people get in touch with you if
Um,
they want to chat? And community is a big part of what we're trying to do. So how do
yeah,
you want people to reach out?
they can hit me up on Instagram at Success Printshop. They can hit me in the DMs there, or they can always email me too at print@successprintshop.com. Yeah, I'll be willing, definitely. People do hit me up and ask me questions, and I know I was there at some point, trying to figure things out. That would be my biggest like advice to like new printers is constantly like research, see where all these bigger shops are, like reach out, talk to them. I've emailed so many shops and straight up asked like questions because they've already done where you're going. They've already been down that path. So that's like my biggest advice. And aside from screen printing, just business world too, like the customer service, the marketing, like there's so much podcasts, so many audiobooks that people can listen to learn, and take action on. So that'd be my biggest advice is constantly reach out and learn like new things, how people do it, because I mean they've already done what you want to do. You know what I mean?
Yep. That's a great idea for people when they're trying to learn is to find somebody that did it and just ask them. You'd be surprised how open people are sometimes, You think they
Yeah,
wouldn't be, but a lot of times they are. And so,
yeah,
well, I really
they're proud.
appreciate your time, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're proud of what they've built, so they want to tell you. Yeah, man, I appreciate your time and
Yeah.
thank you so much and thank you for everything you're doing. Like all this, like I've watched the other ones and it's really nice, like you said, to hear like have a community and hear people and like it's nice to see everybody in the same like kind of the same boat. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, man. You're welcome. And it was great having you. And I look forward to talking to you again, see where you go to, man. I think you're destined for big things, brother. You're looking good.
Hey, yeah. Thanks, man.